So taking a look at the top of this engine, we can see that we have very easy access to all these coil packs. There's that original factory unit, and this thing does look minty fresh. Here's a side-by-side with the old and the new. There's the top view and another angle there. Well, this is my wife Farris, and this Envoy is actually her car.
But you're Jimmy with one road. You
I
can
know,
fix anything.
I know, but you know what? This is real life. Well, I've been having some trouble with this thing. This is GM's 4.2 liter inline 6-cylinder engine, and the vehicle is my 2005 GMC Envoy. Now the problem is a misfire. Now if I go ahead and give this thing a start, it just starts kind of rough. And sitting in the truck, you can feel it misfiring. You can feel it just kind of shaking. With my hand on the engine, I can also feel that it runs a little bit rough. Now there's no check engine light, and it still gets pretty decent fuel mileage. I also replaced the spark plugs, I don't know, maybe 10,000 miles ago. So I've obviously done some research, and some of the most common problems that I hear everybody having with these engines is with these guys right here. This is the ignition coil. Now there's obviously 6 of these things on this engine, and apparently they are very common to go out. So rather than just buying one ignition coil and trying to guess which one is at fault, if there is one at fault, I went ahead and bought the entire NGK 6-pack. Here's what it looks like in the box. Now these coils are very, very nice. They look absolutely incredible. So I have 6 brand new coils. And if you're wondering, these NGK coils are made in Mexico. Now the first thing I'm gonna do in the process here is remove this air box, which is pretty simple. And I think we have it. Oh, there's a vacuum hose under here. There we go. I'll just flip that up and out of the way. Now here are the original factory coil packs, and they are the Delphi brand. If you haven't figured it out by now, I'm not totally sure that this is my problem. I've just done a lot of research on this engine through the time that I've owned it, and every single time I've ever tried to figure out certain issues I was having, it always came back with the coil packs. The coil packs, the coil packs. They're always an issue on these vehicles. Now, even though this vehicle is from 2005, it only has, I want to say, 60,000 original miles on the original engine. So that's where I've kind of been resistant to changing the coil packs out because, well, there's not a whole lot of miles on them. But I do understand that time can also cause an issue with things. So I figured, why not go ahead and swap out all 6 of them? Being that they're a common issue anyway, it's kind of one of those things that I can do now and not have to worry about it for another 100,000 miles. So taking a look at the top of this engine, we can see that we have very easy access to all these coil packs until you get to the back 2. Those are underneath this area here, so those are a little bit more difficult to get to, though it is still possible. All right, so even using a deep socket here, I'm able to get my 1/4-inch ratchet with a 10mm onto that coil pack. There we go. Now the electrical connector for these coil packs is fairly easy to remove. This gray piece right here is a lock of sorts, and you have to remove this by depressing this little clip right here. Then the gray piece will just slide right out, and that's what that looks like. And then we're left with this clip right here, which we'll just press in and remove. And that's it for removing a coil pack, just a 10mm bolt and the electrical connector. There's that original factory unit, and this thing does look minty fresh. It looks like new. So I'm gonna hang on to these for a couple reasons. Number 1, if any of my new ones ever go out, well, I'll have a replacement. And number 2, there may be nothing wrong with these at all. So again, it'd be good to have these as replacements. All right, now the other thing I'm gonna do while I'm in here is go ahead and take a peek at each one of the spark plugs. As much as I just quickly want to throw these coil packs in, it'd be dumb of me not to check the spark plugs to make sure that they are looking okay. All right, and that is spark plug number 6, we'll call it, and everything looks good. Now here's a side-by-side with the old and the new, and they do look nearly identical. There's the top view and another angle there. Now let's go ahead and see if I can show you down inside that hole just to see what it looks like. Down inside the spark plug hole, that's a pretty cool view. I'm gonna go ahead and slide this spark plug back in place. Okay, and then I'll just give it a little bit of a snug. Okay, now here's spark plug number 5, and it looks okay to me. And looking down into spark plug hole number 5, everything looks okay. And here is spark plug number 4, or the 3rd one from the back. Everything looks good. And looking down into that 4th spark plug hole, everything looks good. The official torque spec for these spark plugs is written right here, and it says 13 foot-pounds. And again, here's spark plug number 3. And you can see everything looks really good. And looking down into spark plug hole number 3, you can see everything also looks really good. And spark plug number 2, or the second one back from the front, looks really good as well. And looking into spark plug hole number 2, you can see everything is also looking good. And lastly, here is the frontmost spark plug number 1, which also looks really good. And here's looking down that first spark plug hole. Everything looks pretty darn good. Well, the top line there are the old ignition coils, and the bottom is the new. And from my eyes, I don't see anything with these old ignition coils that would indicate that any one of them have failed. But that's not to say that they haven't. These are electrical / mechanical components. And so something, for example, under that heatsink could have gone wrong. There could even be a problem internally inside the boot. Now, just quickly before I install these new parts, I just want to say, yeah, I am kind of throwing a parts cannon at this thing. I haven't properly diagnosed with, special scanners or anything like that. I don't have anything like that. I guess we'll see. Once I put these new ones in, does it fix the problem? What do you think? Comment below. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and install the first coil pack in the very back there. I did put some dielectric grease inside the boot. So I'll just slide this back. Make sure we're on the spark plug, which I can feel that we are. I'll press down. Okay, I'll make sure we're seated properly. And now I'll take my 10mm. I don't really know how tight that needs to be. I mean, that seems pretty tight. Well, we'll call that one good. All right, I have all the coil packs installed except for the second one back. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of dielectric grease in there. Just gonna go ahead and place it right down over the spark plug. Make sure that that boot is on the spark plug. Press it down, and then I can hand tighten the bolt here. And then once that's hand tight, I'll just go ahead and give it a few cranks with my 1/4" ratchet. And the last thing, of course, is just to replace the plug. And then there's this little lock, it just slides in there. We're good to go. Well, there we have it. All 6 coil packs are brand new and have been replaced. And this is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, just suspecting that that was what my problem was. But also my pessimistic side says that, nah, the coils were fine, it's something else. I don't know, we'll see. Well, this is my wife, Farris, and this Envoy is actually her car. This is the thing she drives around all the time, all over Middle Tennessee. And so that's why I'm trying to get this thing running really good.
I was just gonna say, like, when I get in the car and it's making that weird kind of grumbling noise, and I'm like, this isn't a diesel. Yeah. It shouldn't sound this way.
It does. At times, it really sounds like it's dieseling. It sounds like a diesel engine, which is so weird. Makes me think that, yeah, maybe these coils were not working properly, and maybe the fuel was literally dieseling. I don't know.
Are you saying that you fixed it?
I don't know. We haven't turned the key yet. We're gonna do that right now.
Okay.
Oh wait, you know what? I'm sorry, I have to reconnect the negative battery cable that I've had disconnected this whole time.
I think it's okay.
Really? It does seem a little bit quieter. I don't know. Do you feel it?
Now I don't know if it's like placebo. It feels a little rumbly.
Okay. I may have a smile on my face, but I'm actually disappointed because none of that was wrong. The car still feels exactly the same. It's still shaky, it's still misfiring, it's still kind of grungy sounding, if that makes any sense. I just don't get it.
I had a hope in the beginning because I'm like, okay, maybe this sounds okay. But then after like 20 seconds, I knew.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry.
That's okay, you tried.
I don't know what left to do.
Left?
I mean, really, I don't. There's no check engine light at all, which scares me a little bit. I honestly think that the next step is to take this thing into a shop and just have a professional technician diagnose it, because that is what I am not. I don't have all the tools, the scan tools, all that stuff to be able to do that. And so I think that's our next step.
But you're Jimmy with one road. You
I
can
know,
fix anything.
I know, but you know what? This is real life, and sometimes there's failures, and this one is a failure. So, I mean, it's still a good video, right? It's still, you know, a learning process.
You know how to fix what was it again?
The ignition coils.
Okay, yeah. At least you know how to fix 6 ignition coils.
That weren't bad. I got 6 fresh. Hey, on the lighter side, does anyone want to buy 6 original, fresh ignition coils that all seemingly work? Comment down below.
Sorry, babe. Thanks for trying.
I tried. Well, guys, this is the point where I ask for your help. You've seen me do various things on this vehicle. Granted, it only has about 60,000 original miles on it, like I was saying. So there's not really a whole lot I can imagine that's wrong with this thing. Mechanically, it's gotta be great. I've always changed the oil on time. The oil looks great. There's no glitter in the oil or anything like that. Could it be the fuel injectors or maybe the intake manifold gaskets? Those are the other things that I researched regarding this sort of issue with this engine. I don't know who out there has worked on these Envoys, these 4.2 liter inline 6 Vortec engines. Let me know what your best guess is as to what is wrong with this thing, or if I should just take it to a local reputable shop. Well, I know I said this video was a failure, but that's not quite all the way true. I love making videos. I love making videos for you guys so we can all learn. I'd be doing this whether I was making a video or not, and I love that I have the opportunity to make a video and show you guys what I'm doing over here and what I'm learning. Hopefully we're all learning together. If that's the case, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up. It really does help this video and the channel. And also, if you've watched this far and you're not a subscriber to One Road, consider subscribing. I'm Jimmy for One Road, and I will see you in the next one.